Has the spring real estate market shown us signs of a market bottom, or is there more room to see prices decline for the rest of the year? We're going to talk about this and so much more in this month's market update video. All right, before we dive in, please subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment below, and share with your friends. Really appreciate the support and helps us for the YouTube algorithms. All right, let's dive in to see what happened in May 2026. So this is effectively usually the peak of the real estate spring market. Peak, what I mean is not necessarily in price, but activity. So let's see what happens. So sales volume, interestingly, is up 6.3% from where we were last year. If you remember, last May, that was the lowest May on record for the past 22 years. So this is nothing really to get excited about. Yes, certainly 6 point whatever percent is an encouraging sign, but doesn't really show us much in terms of where we were historically pre-COVID, because those are really the numbers that I'm looking at. Like, I want to see where we're at relative to 2019, 2018, and 2017, and we're nowhere near those numbers. So that's telling me that maybe the market isn't quite back just yet, but there's still more to talk about. Active listings. This is a little bit of a surprise. Active listings are down 13%. Not that that metric, or not that the listings are down is a surprise. It's what actually the correlation with price. Because typically when we see active listings rise, that usually comes with a decline in price if we're not seeing volumes outpacing that of the supply of listings. Now, interestingly, so we're at 26,000, which, again, is, historically speaking, quite low, actually. So that's telling me a few things. Telling me that, really the only people that are selling now are those that are needing to sell or want to sell because maybe there's a lifestyle change. Maybe they're upsizing, maybe they're downsizing, maybe they're buying their first home. Whatever it may be, we're not seeing the same vigor as we would in 2017, 2018, 2019. Now, average price. Now, this is an interesting one. So year over year, we are down 4.6%. 4.6% is like, we're talking year over year, right? And this is GTA average. So we're including the Haltons, the Peels, Durham region, York region, all that is lumped into the GTA average. Now, each of those pockets obviously is behaving very differently. But one of the metrics that I'm looking for more closely is what's happening month over month. I think that's a little bit of a telling story because, if you look at year over year, yes, prices are obviously down, and prices are still down when you're comparing to last fall. Like if you're comparing prices from October, November, December to today, we are actually on average lower than we were. Now, what's happening with prices month over month? Interestingly, we are up 1.7%. Is that anything to get excited about? Not really. Usually prices tend to rise in the spring. So March, April, May is usually when we see a little bit of an uptick in prices. And I'm talking about a normal real estate market. I'm not talking about, what's happening, now or 10 years ago or whatever, but in a typical real estate market in Toronto. And then prices plateau in June and then slowly decline in July and August. And then we see a little bit more of an uptick in September. Now, the fact that we're up 1.7% doesn't really tell me much. Yes, it tells me that, on average prices are up slightly higher than where we were. Now, it depends on the asset class. Like freeholds are outpacing that of condos. So interestingly, if you're looking at properties that are freeholds that are near the downtown core, areas that are very popular with buyers today, those areas are outperforming those than in, perhaps in York region or in Durham region or even in Peel. Like those areas are a little bit less insulated, if you will, from a market perspective. Certainly, something that I've noticed as a trend this year. So, the questions I asked off the top, is a local market bottom in? Really difficult to tell that right now. My sense is we're probably going to see more prices decline throughout this year. So we're going to probably see average prices come down a little bit, between now and the end of the year. Now, are we talking about dramatic shift in prices? Like, are we talking about 1, 2, 3%? That's my take. That's what I honestly think is going to happen. Unless obviously things change, we see rates come down fairly aggressively, which I don't think is going to happen. That could signal a reversal. But current environment where we're at with inflation numbers the way they are and rates being sticky, we're seeing, I think we're going to see continued softness for the rest of the year. But, I'm really curious to see where we are this summer, because I think June, July, and August are going to set the table for what happens this fall. And last year we had a little bit of a resurgence in fall, October, November, just in early parts of December. And that'll give us some clues into maybe we should expect that this year again. Who knows? Time will tell, but we're going to dive into those numbers next month. So thanks again for tuning in. And again, we love the questions and your feedback. Please keep them coming and tune in next month, and we'll talk about the market update video numbers at that point. Thanks so much. Bye for now.